You're watching the listening window. Today's story is called I Took a Taxi Late at Night. This is a true-to-life story told in simple, everyday English to help you practice your speaking and listening skills. As always, the full PDF script is available in the description below. It includes a vocabulary list, a quiz, an answer key, and a bonus writing and speaking prompt to test your English. Make sure to download it. Now, let's begin. IT all started with a dinner that ran longer than expected. My friend Sarah had invited me to her apartment for a quiet evening, just the two of us catching up after weeks of not seeing each other. We ordered food, laughed over silly things, and even opened a bottle of wine. I lost track of time, and when I finally looked at the clock, it was already 11:45 p.m. I should go, I said, standing up quickly. You sure you'll be okay? Sarah asked. It's pretty late. Yeah, I'll just book a taxi. It's only a 20-minute ride. I said goodbye, stepped into the quiet hallway of her apartment building, and pulled out my phone. The ride-hailing app showed just one available driver nearby. I tapped book without thinking twice. It was too late to be picky. The driver's name was Imran. The car, a black Toyota Corolla, arrived in about 4 minutes. I stepped in, and immediately something felt a little off. Not unsafe exactly, but not quite right either. He didn't greet me. He didn't ask for my name. He just started driving. I buckled my seatbelt and glanced at his face in the rearview mirror. He looked tired, or maybe bored. His eyes were fixed on the road, expressionless. There was soft instrumental music playing from the speakers, some kind of classical guitar, but it didn't ease my nerves. Long night. I asked casually, he didn't answer. Maybe he didn't hear me. I leaned back in my seat and stared out the window. The streets were mostly empty, just a few cars and the occasional pedestrian. We passed a convenience store with its bright fluorescent lights still on and a man sitting outside drinking from a can. The city looked different at night. Quieter. Stranger, we were about 10 minutes into the ride when I noticed something odd. The route on my phone wasn't matching the route he was taking. I think you missed a turn, I said, trying to keep my voice calmed. He didn't reply. He just kept driving. Excuse me. I raised my voice a little. Still nothing. I started to feel that creeping sensation in my chest, like when you realize you might be in danger, but don't want to believe it. I glanced at the car doors. Locked. I'm going to call someone, I said, loud and clear this time, just so they know I'm on my way. He finally spoke. No need. Shortcut. I know the roads better than the app. His voice was low and flat. Not rude, not friendly. Just emptied it. I stared at him for a second. Was he telling the truth? What shortcut? I live on the east side. You're going west. He didn't respond. I opened the ride app and tried to cancel the trip, but it said the ride was already in progress and couldn't be changed. I tried calling the emergency line in the app, but the signal dropped. Just like that, no service. Stop the car, I said firmly. He didn't. I said stop the car. Still nothing. My heart was pounding now. I reached for my purse, fumbling for anything I could use, my keys, pepper spray, even a pen. Then suddenly, he turned left into a narrow lane, dimly lit and completely deserted. My fingers tightened around the canister of pepper spray in my purse. "Where are we?" I demanded. "This isn't the way." He finally stopped the car. For a moment, there was silence. He turned slightly in his seat, but didn't look at me. "Get out," he said. "What?" I said, "Get out." Now, I froze. Was this a joke? Was he trying to rob me? Kidnap me? My mind raced through possibilities, but he didn't reach for anything. He didn't even look threatening. Just tired. "Why?" I asked, my voice shaking. "This is as far as I go," he said. "Get out." Still gripping my spray, I slowly opened the door. The night air hit me like a slap, cold, sharp, silent. There were no houses, no shops, no lights. Just the sound of wind and the occasional bark of a dog somewhere far away. He didn't wait for me to close the door. As soon as I stepped out, he sped off without another word. I stood there, stunned. Then I realized I knew this area. Not well, but enough to know there was a small police station a few blocks east. I pulled out my phone, and luckily the signal returned. I sent my location to a friend and started walking fast, almost running. When I reached the police station, I explained everything. They listened, took down his details, and promised to follow up. But in the end, they said what I expected. They couldn't really do much unless he committed a crime. He had dropped me off safely, technically, but it didn't feel safe. That night, I sat on my couch for hours, trying to make sense of it. Maybe he really did take a shortcut. Maybe he was just having a bad night. Or maybe he had other intentions and changed his mind at the last second. I'll never know, but I learned something important. Never get into a ride without checking the license plate, confirming the driver's name, and always sharing your trip with someone you trust. Still, sometimes, when I walk alone at night, I think about that face in the mirror. Blank. Silent. And I wonder, what would have happened if I hadn't spoken up? Or worse, what if he had? If you were in my place, what would you have done? And what if the story had taken a different turn? Maybe in that narrow lane, he didn't ask me to get out. Maybe he locked the doors. Maybe the real story only begins there. But I'll leave that for you to imagine. Thank you for listening to the listening window. Don't forget to download the full PDF in the description. It includes the full script, vocabulary list, quiz, answer key, and a bonus writing and speaking prompt to help you improve your English. And tell me in the comments, what would your ending to this story be?